So hello friends, good evening. Great to see all of you. There are about 700 plus registrations for this session. More people will join, and I'm hoping by John will take about 20 minutes more to join in, Professor John Mullins. But we have a very exciting speaker here, and we wanted to take benefit of her presence. Uh, we have Rashmi Gupta, and she is also being supported by her colleague, who I'm waiting to see. Rashmi is the head of marketing at Esri India, which is a global leader in geospatial intelligence, geographical intelligence systems, and all the things. And I have been working in this space of startups for many years. And every time when I think startup, and everywhere I start seeing some sort of geospatial stuff going on. And I thought that we take the benefit of her presence. And one of the tracks in the College Youth Ideathon is supported by Esri India, which is around GIS. So in the idea form, all of you would see how we can improve our idea with GIS. And I also have the presence of Rashmi's colleague, Dr. Seema Joshi, who is an icon again in this field. And she is, just give me a second. I think just a sec. Yeah. So Dr. Seema Joshi is Vice President Strategic Initiatives at Esri with several years of experience in GIS and strategic affairs, e-governance. She is also taught at Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, where the IAS officers get trained at Mussoorie. So great presence, and without much ado, I really want to take the benefit of this. And my first question goes to Rashmi. For the audience, it would be great if you can educate us what Esri does, what is the mandate of Esri, what is the scope of work?
Okay. Thank you, Shivesh, and congratulations that you're getting a lot of applications in this program. So Esri is a global organization. It's based out of California. It was established in 1969. And in India, we have presence since 1996. So Esri is basically, it's a leading provider of geographic information system, GIS, and location intelligence solutions. Esri has been enabling organizations across industry to harness the power of spatial data, the location data for smarter decision making. What we offer is a software, a GIS-based software called ArcGIS, that helps organizations, government, and academia to solve complex real-world challenges. So this GIS is actually being used across industries: government, retail, manufacturing, forestry, infrastructure, disaster management. So you name it, any industry where, because location data is pervasive. So GIS, the usage of GIS is across industries. So this is a short introduction.
Fantastic. And as a student, and I was student about maybe 35 years back. And for the first time when I got exposed to this term called GIS, it was interesting because we were seeing all this thing called INSAT and all the satellites and everything, and then it also became very complex. So can you, for the larger audience out here, because we have people from many streams, can you demystify what is it?
So probably perhaps a couple of years back, you would have seen the complexities. But I would say that everybody sitting here would have touched GIS in some form. If you have ever booked a cab through Ola, Uber, or you've ordered through Zomato's, or you ordered through your e-commerce or companies. So this you use Google Maps. So if you have, then you have touched GIS in some little extent. So GIS basically is, although more than this, it's just not visualizing points on the map. So imagine when you have a lot of data layers on the map, that's when you can analyze trends, you can identify patterns, and you can make informed decisions without needing any advanced technical skills. So, for example, in the past, I would say, some of the students have been doing great work. I remember a couple of years back, there was a student from Andhra University who had created a web-based portal or an application called Educating Blind. So problem statement was that not even 4%, according to the 2011 census, not even 4% of the students, blind students, were able to get education. So there are blind schools somewhere, there are NGOs who are ready to teach blind schools, there are blind students, but don't know. They don't know how to connect with each other. So we had created a portal where the students, blind students, or the caretakers of the blind students had access. They can register themselves on the portal. Similarly, the schools and the NGOs can register themselves on the portal, and then they can find each other. And then another piece of that portal was that they could identify where are the gaps, where are there, where there are students, a lot of students, but there's no blind school nearby. Blind students cannot travel a lot of distance, so they knew where the demand is, where they should create, whether some NGO should be placed. So that was the kind of work that students have been doing in past, and now also. So there are a lot of applications, a lot of use cases that students are using GIS for, and there's a lot of startups who are using GIS into their
Fantastic. And
ideas and into their
as you were speaking, I was reminded of the other work that you have done for the Kumbh, right? For the Mahakumbh, where you have put up
yeah,
your the portal and all,
yeah,
right? And I can start thinking, because
yes,
the moment you said this, that it's a great visual representation tool where there is people who have access and a lot of people who don't have access, and it's all visually available on the map, and then you can do some planning. Dr. Seema
yeah.
Joshi, I'm very grateful to see you. Very glad. I want you to share a quick experience about any startup success story, right? Even a smaller one who has leveraged GIS in some unique way to build something interesting. You are on mute. I'll have to. Can you unmute yourself, Dr. Joshi?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
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 First of all, thank you so much for this for sharing our experiences and all. And yes, there are a number of startups who are leveraging geospatial technologies, and like there are many examples where like if we talk about attentive AI, and then we are talking about GIS kernel, Idea Forge. We have Agrotech Risk Private Limited. So these are, I mean, just few names, but there are almost 60 plus startups rather we were mentoring directly, and we were involved in engaged with them. So here, if we talk about this agrotech, for example, because this is a very recent requirement of the agriculture, like how the agriculture industry can, the farms can be managed more effectively and all. So this particular startup, I mean, they have integrated the geospatial technologies along with the and all, and then they are trying to build those complete farm management system where the how much fertilizers are required, what is quality of the crops, and total area, and complete area management. So this is, I mean, just a small example, but yes, Rashmi has already given this example of this Ola, Uber, and all. I mean, these are nothing, but these are the Ola was a very, if I take it this way, it is a very good example of how in a day-to-day life we all are leveraging geospatial technology without even knowing the nitty-gritties of geospatial technologies. We are just, as soon as we are just booking a taxi cab on the app, which is the nearest cab available, the complete workflow is happening behind the scene, and then we are very effectively all are using it. So I mean, these are just few examples, but yes, there are thousands of use cases in the health sector, in the hazards management. There are in the farms management, precision farming, if we talk about, in the hazards, if we talk about, there are landslides predictions and some of these use cases where there are startups which are working very effectively.
So just before I ask my another question, I think Rashmi, I just want to add a thing, right? And folks who are participating in College Youth Ideathon, Esri has instituted not only special awards, but if you reach top 500 stage, then part of the software is made accessible to you free, right? So Rashmi, we want to talk about this. I think she's frozen. Her screen is frozen, but this is what I know, and everyone who's participating, they get that added benefit. Okay, Dr. Seema Joshi, I have a quick question to you. I heard a lot of this logistics. I heard disaster, right? Let's take one short, quick example of urban planning.
Urban planning, okay.
Sustainability, right? Because these are the words which are going to, all of us are hearing more and more of these words. And how are you using, or how can someone use GIS, right? Just, if you can open this up.
Yeah. So urban planning, yes, of course. Urban planning is one area where most of the recent activities are happening. If you talk about the smart cities, some of the initiatives we have already heard about, and where people are just leveraging these geospatial technologies. There are use cases where urban sprawl mapping, where we have the sustainability we talk about, because see, we have to, there has to be, development has to be there. And with the development, there is a problem with the climate and the conservation, and then there are the challenges. Using geospatial technologies, we can really leverage that. I'm not exactly direct, but in the logistics example, I would like to share one experience here, how this technology is getting leveraged in that. We all must have heard about this Delhi Dehradun highway, which is getting created, and it will shorten the time of Delhi to Dehradun. I mean, from the 8-9 hours to it is 3-4 hours kind of timelines we are looking at. So this why I gave this example is because there are infrastructure development is required. I mean, the connectivity has to be improved, and there is no way, I mean, the Dehradun can be connected from any other side. We have those forest area which needs to be preserved in between. So what this technology has done is using this geospatial technology, which is the optimum route where the infrastructure can be constructed road without damaging much of the environment and forest and all, how these wildlife corridors can be retained, and where all those can be constructed. So putting those CCTV cameras and sensors, they have tried, I mean, for the planning of this highway and infrastructure, they've identified which are the corridors where the most of the animals movement is happening. So in those areas, they try to create some kind of tunnels and some channels and all, so that those connectivity of the forest can be ensured, and side by side the development and the key requirement of shortening the timelines and improving the infrastructure was also met. So these
Thank
are the kind of good examples where technology has been very effectively leveraged.
Thank you very much for such a very nice example, elaborate, and the whole thing that you can it's not just visual tool, but by layer you can add the complexity and then see where the bottlenecks are, and then use GIS for planning. Fantastic. We have Professor John Mullins join in, and let me admit him, and then we'll continue, Rashmi, for the next 5 minutes. Is that fine? Okay. So Professor John Mullins has joined. John, great to see you. I will we'll work with you in the next 5 minutes, but I have two very learned speakers who are talking about the use of GIS technology for startups. right? So, Rashmi, I have a question for you, and that is about how I'm a student and I'm very passionate about developing some sort of an app, right? Today this quick commerce is the hot thing, but there could be some other thing which can catch imagination, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do I integrate GIS to create, as I understand, location awareness? GIS, what it does is it brings locational intelligence, right?
Yes.
I can also see on your the tagline, the power of where,
Science software.
the science
Science
of where,
software.
the
Software.
science of where. So
Yeah.
how do anyone bring in this science of where into their startup idea?
So I'll perhaps give you some more examples, and I'll give you examples which students have developed so that people can relate easily. So, for example, few years back, IIT Bombay student had developed an application in some of our program, which was for pothole management, because there are a lot of potholes in Mumbai. So they developed a application, mobile application. This was mobile application. So where citizens, if they see a pothole, they can click a picture, the location, the lat long will come because it's a GIS based application. It will automatically capture the lat long, and then they can upload the picture and submit the picture. The picture goes to authority. Authority has a version of app, right? They see, okay, these are the potholes that citizens are, complaining about, and then there is the field people who also have access to that app. So they send a notification to the field people. Field people will go to the pothole, whether that area, they'll do whatever is required to be done, and they'll again click a picture, and then they'll submit. So the authority knows that this is closed. So the entire workflow is GIS based. So it's an application for citizens. So similarly, some students had done supply chain. I remember a student who was from defense background, and he was doing some course in IIT again, and he had developed an application using GIS on supply chain, where there are terrains are difficult and they have to push supplies, and the terrains are not only difficult, they're terrains which are where there are threats in between. So how do they optimize the routes where they have minimum threats, the less fuel can be used, and all of those things. So another student had built an application on bringing blood donors and blood needers on a platform. So it's basically like the Mahakumbh app you had mentioned. So we have brought everything in one portal. You could see where the tents are, where the ghats are, how to go from ghats to tents, where the emergency services are, where the lost and found centers are. So everything is available at one place. So it's basically, you think anything which has location, GIS can be used. Any idea and application where you have customers, you will need the insights of customers. GIS can be used. So the key is to think specially. If you can think specially, you can integrate GIS into any of your existing ideas, or you can create GIS based applications.
Fantastic. So think XYZ, think space, think long lat, and you can start using GIS somewhere, right? But
Yeah.
on that note, can I ask one last question, and Rashmi, I'll come to you for special thing what we have for students. So Seema, I have a short question for you. For the last 3 years or maybe 2.5 years, we have been the world has gotten crazy about this thing called AI. How is it impacting the world of GIS?
Yeah, actually, uh, uh, if I, with my experience of 30 plus years, if I see, I mean, there is a drastic change in different kinds of applications, the innovative ideas, and the efficiency of the system, which can be improved by this AI integration, is tremendous. So if I can give, give some related example of the logistics here, what Rashmi was talking about, this pothole management, pothole analysis, citizen reporting and all. So one way of doing it is citizen reporting by looking at the pothole. What if without citizen or anybody reporting, maybe in remote areas where the potholes are there, how to capture that information? Here comes the AI and all those sensor integration, those CCTV video analytics, all those integrations. So what AI can help us, if I can give you one small example here. there is a key challenge of the accidents. We all know. I mean, in India, there are lots of accidents challenges on the roads.
Brilliant. Yeah.
That is maybe because of the people are not following the rules or not following the traffic rules and all. So using AI and this traffic video analytics integrated with the AI, we can identify which are the people who are not wearing helmets, for example, or people who are coming from the river side of the road, I mean, crossing the road in the red light and all. Some of the students must have experienced already some of these kind of use cases where there's traffic challans are happening and all. So I mean, these are some of the automated way how we can generate these analytics and using AI ML, and we can improve the performance and efficiency of the data capturing and integrating and analyzing these things. So that is where, I mean, AI is AI, ML, DL, all
I'll
these.
stop you here because
Yeah.
we are also in the competition stage and you are already giving ideas right now.
Okay.
You
Well,
know, if I were a student on the other side, I think you have just now given me 3 ideas which I can right now enter into the Youth Ideathon portal, right? With that, I have last question from Rashmi. If I do well in Youth Ideathon, there are many students out here. How will Esri support them?
Oh, so if you get shortlisted, if your ideas are shortlisted, we'll be helping some of the good ideas with the software support.
Yeah.
So we'll give software support so that you can integrate the software GIS into the ideas that you are wanting to work. We can also support in some kind of mentorship, GIS mentorship,
Yeah.
so that if you have the software, you're able to use it also.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So, by the way, all the students out there, there are many things, right? This is not then this is the first interaction that we are having. We are going to have more interaction with the Esri experts if you are selected in the GIS team, where they will not only give the software, but also the expert mentors like Seema and other people, they will come, Rashmi, and they are going to help you sort of fine tune your solutions such that it becomes as useful or as market ready as possible. With that, on that note, thanks very much to Seema and to Rashmi for making this quick, brief session happen at very short notice.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you
for
all.
inviting us.
thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
Atta,
Thank you
right?
for
And
inviting.
thanks to both of you for giving us a solid support. I'm sure something interesting is on the way, right? We still have about 9 days to go or 8 days to go, and something nice would come. So with this, we
Thank
come
you.
to the first part of the discussion. And can I request everyone to switch on their cameras such that, there's always, when we switch on the camera, then we also have a very nice photo moment for all of us, right? Which we can, we are living in a social world. Can I request everyone to switch on the cameras? And thanks, Prem, Anuradha, Aditya. If all of you can switch on your cameras, it would be fantastic. Thanks, Gaurav. I'm looking at more people to switch on the cameras. Please, and I'm going to take one quick snap of whatever I can see on my screen, and we'll put a best use of this picture. Right. So thank you all. Now I'm going to bring in Professor John Mullins. Let me